It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. I highly recommend that you check us out on Facebook right now because Seth Erwin is here, IUP Rugby coach, and he has brought with him, well, that's not exactly a boutonniere that you have with you, is it? My goodness.
It's got some weight to it.
That is the National Championship Trophy. IUP wins it for the second year in a row.
Second in a row, back-to-back for 15s.
How about that?
Yeah, they seem to come in bunches for us.
Yeah, you got them at sevens before, didn't you?
Yeah, so we have two and sevens. We did back-to-back before, and now we did back-to-back in 15. So
That's amazing.
It's been an amazing run, you know.
Our visit today presented by Marcus and Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. The guys know you're on?
I think,
Yeah.
The captains, nobody offered up to come on, so
Yeah?
they sent me as the lone soldier today.
Well, I'm glad that you did, and you can wave to them on Facebook. I'm sure they're watching. You won that, and this was no gimme this time, was it?
No. The sevens championships were kind of weird because if you get hot for the weekend, you could pull out a championship. If you're just hot and you stay healthy and everything works for you for those 3 days, 15s is a different animal.
Yeah.
It takes, so we played 6 matches in a row that were, you lose, you're done. And we battled injury a lot this year, so we had, probably out of 12 matches, 10 different lineups. It felt like everything was going against us. And then we made it. We battled through. Our semifinal was ridiculously stressful.
Yeah. They were really good.
Yeah. So, we got down to Elite 8 usually is the point where, like, it gets really real. Sometimes in the Sweet 16, you have, a team that, may have got there and been badly injured and, they're piecing together somebody.
Yeah.
The Elite 8 usually is like that. Okay, it's real. We played a really good team from North Carolina. They gave us everything we could. We had a big lead and then lost that lead. That taught us a lot about where we struggled in the second halves. So we went against Norwich in that the weather, the weather dictated us to play a completely different style than we have all year.
Driving rain.
Driving rain. It was downpour 90% of the match. I don't think I'm still dry yet from it. It was a downpour where it made it like a one-dimensional rugby match. And they're a military academy. They had the bodies to play that style. And our forward pack, they stepped up. It was like, guys, we do not want to play thump rugby. And Rain was like, yeah, you don't want to, but you are.
Yeah.
So, and then that match, our senior outside center, Dom Holmes, just had a day. He started doing things that, I usually yell at him for doing, like pick and goes and getting into like the forward areas. And he took it upon himself to be like, all right, whatever, coach, we need to win. So
pretty much did that organically.
He's done it in the past. I think last year he did it in the national championship. And, from our vantage point, you don't really see it too well live. Like, you're like, okay, who scored that? And I was like, oh, it's Dom. I was like, why the heck's Dom in that situation? And then he did it again this year, and it was like, all right, I guess I can't yell at him.
Yeah.
Take
what you can get.
Yeah. So that semifinal in 20 years of rugby, that was the first time I've had an overtime, let alone a double overtime.
Yeah. Well, and reading beforehand, it was like the previews were saying IUP doesn't. We know IUP's defending champ. They don't have a chance against this team.
Yeah. They do that to us a lot. We're a club team. We're 100% PA. Born kids. So it was
rugby hotbed.
Yeah, Indiana, right? Who'd have thought little Indiana? Which was crazy because the announcer at the stadium, his wife is from Indiana, so he's like a secret IUP fan where he wants us to do well for the in-laws.
Wow.
So,
well, who is that? Tell folks where you were first.
We were in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
So the guy that came down, I believe he's from New York. He does a big rugby podcast. But his wife is from Indiana. So every match, it's like, the home of Jimmy Stewart. And it's hilarious because he drops like all these like, the facts if you're from Indiana, like where Jimmy Stewart's dad's general store was, stuff like that. But being down in Houston and hearing it's always like really weird. It's like, oh, okay.
A little home cooking. That's fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's fine. Yeah, Texas barbecue is pretty good, but home
It was
cooking is
great.
pretty
Yeah,
good too.
it was great. Our parents that travel down, they do a dinner every Saturday night that we get down there, and it was Texas barbecue. It was great.
Well, see, that's what they're just trying to fill up your belly and make you sluggish out on the field.
Well, that's all right. For me, it's all right. For players, not so much.
So double overtime,
and
you survived it.
We survived. Yeah, we had probably 30 scoring chances that we just didn't capitalize on, which in the rain, like you can't get too mad. So it's
Sure.
More like, okay, guys, just simple. Keep it simple. Let's play simple. Take advantage of when we have the ball, which was crazy in the overtime. We ended up end to end a couple different times where they could have scored in one, we could have scored in one. But yeah, we took it double overtime. Luckily, out of that match, we're relatively healthy. And then we went into Sunday against a really good Northern Iowa team that they as well are kind of built like we are, homegrown, mainly Iowa. So the Zeus, their coach, and I were joking before. It's like Iowa versus PA. Most people would think this is a wrestling match, right? Because, high school wrestling's big in both states, and you can tell by the two teams that they're dominantly ex-high school wrestlers that filled out both of our rosters. So it was good. That match was completely different from Friday. The forwards, thank gosh, were healthy and, could win our set piece and win our lineouts. That's a huge thank to a new coach we brought in, Coach Murph. He came in and his focus was set piece, tight five. Let's win the little things. And then Dr. Boma from Indiana here, he runs our back line. So for me, I felt like my job was kind of easy this year. I let those two guys do it, and I made the pieces fit. And in the championship, it was completely opposite from the day before, where we had to thump. This one was okay. Let's do what we've been doing all year. Let's go edge to edge. Let's make them run with us. We knew that they are very good at a couple different things, like a box kick. If people don't know what that is, it's like the guy when the breakdown happens, they just kick it over top of everybody. And we sold out to stop at. We put one of our players who played outside center all year at 15. We have two really good freshman wings that we were confident if they were box kicking, we would stop it. So,
that's a strategy decision. And you did you do that because you had seen them play before, or had you how extensively had you scouted them?
So we try not to scout too much ahead, but all year it was IUP Northern Iowa 1-2, 1-2. So it was personal for us because we were ranked number 1 from week 1 until week 10 or week 9, something like that, and then they flipped us. They flipped Northern Iowa to 1, put us at 2. So that kind of gave us a little, okay.
Yeah.
You think we're good all year, and now when it comes down to the business time, okay, you're going to drop us.
And they didn't do it because you got hammered by somebody.
No,
they
actually did it a week that we won 122-0 on in our conference championship. So, but Northern Iowa, they're good. They're really good. I mean, if they had a couple of different breaks happen, it could have swung the match momentum. But we watched them extensively on the Friday. So we watched what they did against Towson in their semifinal, and they must have connected on 6 or 7 of the box kicks. Yeah. And scored tries, a phase or two, or directly off the box kick. So I was like, okay, they use that as a huge tactical thing to flip space, and then think teams are going to mess up, which majority of the time they would against them because they play really good defensive line speed. They get in your face. So we talked about it, and we're like, okay, we're going to sell out to stop the box. We're not going to let that kid beat us. We're going to play really tough defense, and every time that kid looks up to hit a box, he's going to have 3 guys ready to counter on it. So I think he tried 1 or 2, and one I think was mildly successful, but then we countered, and then we had a freshman, Dylan Deasy, take a kickoff back, and that was like the point that they stopped kicking. Yeah. So it was great.
Pretty amazing performance again from IUP. Your second straight at 15s.
At 15s, yep.
And were the two were the sevens were they the 2 years before then, or
yeah. So
it's basically 4 straight.
There's 1 sevens loss in the middle.
Oh, okay. I will give you that.
Yeah. We another driving rain story.
Yeah.
That didn't go our way.
But certainly it went your way this time. down in Texas. Amazing effort. Your guys must be so proud. But the way that they work together, just reading what I read about the games and seeing some of the action, you could tell that they're proud of each other.
Oh yeah.
There's no thumping of my own chest. It's look at my teammate. Look what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they get excited for each other, especially like when guys do something like Dylan's chip and chase. I think everybody was more excited for that than the drive pick and go from Dom on Friday, just because Dom we kind of expected from he in my opinion is the best player in Division II college rugby. So we kind of expected like him to do stuff like that, but Dylan pulls that out, and we're like, oh man, and that was a big swing change too, because we had scored, we got a little bit of a lead, and that gave us we always talk about a 2-possession lead. That gave us the 2-possession lead, and let us run out the rest of that first half. So it was huge. So yeah,
amazing work by IUP at second straight national championship in 15. Seth Erwin has been with us here this morning. We're going to run out of time, but I know that for you and for the entire team, it's a really wonderful bonding experience.
Yes.
And to win 2 straight of these, now people expect it.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, if we want to keep doing what we're doing, we need those high school players. So I keep saying that the high school programs, especially Indiana's, has been great. We have, a bunch of players from there, Moon High School, Pittsburgh Central, Penn Hills, all these high schools in the Pittsburgh area, they're a reason why we're still good.
Yeah. So. IUP's a destination rugby school now. Hey, thanks for coming in.
Yes, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It is Indiana in the morning. Got to get out of here.